go do some news items with you if you're okay
Absolutely,
on that, right?
let's do it.
All right, so I'm going to paraphrase here, right? So we all know what's going on between Jimmy Kimmel and Aaron Rodgers, right? Kimmel went on attack on his show about unvaccinated people, talking to the audience that people who are unvaccinated are causing pain for everybody else and filling up the hospitals where people now can't be treated because of people's stupidity not getting vaccinated. Obviously, on Pat McAfee more recently, Aaron Rodgers accused Jimmy Kimmel of having Epstein connections. We know the whole Epstein thing, and Jimmy Kimmel wasn't happy with that. And he went back and forth with Aaron Rodgers. Let's start there, and we don't want to get in too much trouble, but you could be canceled, and I don't want you canceled. We've been canceled. How many times, Abe? 7 times. Enough times. Thoughts on Kimmel's politically correct anti-vax rant?
I will say that I lived in California at the beginning of COVID, and because of a lot of the COVID restrictions and so forth that were placed on the Californians during that period of time, I left California. I live in Florida now. I'm a big believer in freedom and being able to live your life as you want to live it. So if people don't want to get vaccinated, I think that's on them. If people want to self-identify as a fucking hot dog, then that's on them. I think let people live their lives to the risk that they want to have. It's kind of my feeling on it.
Well, let me ask you this, Blake. At what point is enough, though? Like, what if eventually someone wants to marry their dog or maybe an ant or a cockroach? Are we going to continue to allow this to happen? I mean, when is enough?
It's a great question. I don't know. It's great.
Well, let me ask
when
you
when I get the answer to that, I'll run for president.
You'll run for president. That's a great answer. So, what did you think of Aaron Rodgers? Obviously, they have a back and forth. Do you think Aaron Rodgers is out of line with the whole Epstein comment?
I think that is, in today's climate, I think that is a big statement to make without any evidence or something to back that up.
What about general shit talking, right? Kimmel's got his own show. He has a lot to say, and he can get away with it. And someone wants to shit talk back. Why is everything taken so literal?
So I guess with the shit talking, where I'm a big fan of shit talking, and I heard some of the quotes back and forth. Like one thing that Jimmy Kimmel said that made me laugh, that was pretty good. Is like Aaron Rodgers got 2 A's on his report card, and they're both in his name. And I was like,
that's good. That's a great
good,
line.
Right?
Yeah,
sure. But that's not like the Epstein thing. I could see that putting somebody's. Because I heard Jimmy Kimmel was upset. He said, you're putting my family potentially in danger by making claims like this, which I actually get that and agree with that.
Good point.
Where it's because there's a lot of people that are upset about this. This should be more front page news. It's like unofficial front page news because all the people are talking about it. It's just not all over the news.
Right.
Where people want to know what the deal is and like who's over here fucking all these children. Because
yeah.
I mean, to each their own and self-identifies this, that, and the other. But I don't think people should be fucking kids, And I believe a lot of people feel very strongly about that. So to say somebody is a part of this group, I do think that potentially puts them, their family, and so forth in a potentially precarious or dangerous situation, because if somebody just happens to believe that and sees them walking down the street or at dinner whose kid got kidnapped or raped or whatever, that to potentially come down to being some type of bad situation for Jimmy Kimmel. So that's why I say if he said that without there being any basis for saying that he was on the Epstein Island or whatever, I think that's not right.
I didn't think about that. That's a really good point, man. You know what? You do put someone in danger. I get maybe that's not in the best taste to throw that joke out there, right?
But like if it was shit talking, like I'm all for shit talking and jokes, especially that Aaron Rodgers, the 2 A's. I popped big when I heard that. All
right. Judge orders Universal Music Group to give R. Kelly's remaining royalties of $567,000 to his victims. The judges ruled that the R&B singer R. Kelly remaining royalties cover the $500,000 owed by his sexual assault victims. Thoughts on that?
Well, back to people who shouldn't be fucking children for $500.
Yeah. Well, boom.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really feel bad, I think that And again, I don't know all the details of his story, so I can't sit here and act like I'm an expert on the situation.
Right.
But from what it sounds like he got convicted of was having sex with underage people. And as a result, he's being punished with his freedom and his finances. And, like,
Right, he's paying the
you know,
price.
I'm not necessarily mad at that. Like, there's some things I think that maybe shouldn't be as big of a deal, but I think fucking children's one of the things that should be a big deal. So, like, I mean, he wanted to go fuck a bunch of kids. Now he's getting fucked by the system, and I don't really feel that bad about it, to be honest.
Well, we're kind of rolling this up, so I got to ask you, right? Here you are. You're famous, right? MMA guy, pro wrestler, fuck, you're an actor, stuntman, you're everything, bro. Good looking guy, built like a brick shit house, smart dude. How's it out there being famous with the women now, right? So back in the day, we talked about old school wrestling, the shit that went on, and some things probably not so nice, and some things people were okay with, whatever. Now, you make the wrong move, you could be canceled. What do you do now? Like, what is your spidey sense going every time you're walking around? What's the deal?
You know, it's definitely a tough, precarious situation to potentially be in because it also becomes a lot of he said, she said. And unfortunately, in today's environment, when it comes to men and women in weird sexual situations and stuff, the man's guilty until found proven innocent. Which, and I'm not going to say you should always believe a victim or you shouldn't or whatever, like, but it does come down to a tough situation where you have to be very careful because, you know, let's say you get put in the situation, you got to prove that that wasn't what happened, you know? And, like, women lie. There's been, like, I've seen a video of a girl in her bed, and she's, like, punching herself in the head, trying to say, oh, it's my husband. And thank God that dude had a security camera showing her punching herself in the head, you know? Like,
yeah, but even roll it that way. There's the video. People still won't believe it. They'll still think that the guy did it anyway, no matter what the proof is.
Or what
right?
did he do to make her want to do that? You're like,
Right, yeah, right.
It definitely becomes a little tough, and I think that people need to be protective of themselves. But I also think another big part of, and like given I think the girl punching herself is a different situation, but in terms of like sexual relationships, is being honest with people. I think people do a lot of this stuff out of spite because they feel like they got played or lied to or this, that, or the other. Where if people were just straight up and honest and everybody knew what they're getting involved with, there might not be such spite when things go sour where someone wants, like, I'm going to come try and ruin your life now. Probably because they're really hurt because they were so in love or this, that, or the other. I mean, I can't say it's for every situation, but I think honesty would go further in preventing people from acting like lunatics.
Well, let me ask you, Matt Riddle. I mean, you know Matt at all personally?
I don't know him personally.
But you know the deal that was going on with him with numerous women, I don't want to say numerous, some women complaining about him. What are your thoughts like about that type of stuff, right? Here's a woman who dated Matt Riddle, and then the minute he broke up with her, she pretty much destroyed his career.
You know, I think timing of things always makes me a little bit weary. If things were that bad, you know, and so forth, but your guys are still together. And then we break up, and all of a sudden he's the worst person in the world. Like, I don't know enough details about that specific situation, but I will say that I know people that know Matt personally, and Matt's a good-looking guy who's got a lot of stuff going for him, and I hear he's got a lot of swagger where it's like, I'd be surprised at a guy putting himself in a bad situation or a situation where the girl wasn't interested in it. Mm-hmm. Maybe at some point she got turned off by it, but it's hard to speak on some
maybe like you said,
I
he
also
just
don't
kicked it
know
to the
about.
curb, and then she was unhappy, and then she was
And then
like,
spiteful.
I will destroy
I'm going
you.
to get you back, motherfucker. Right. Exactly.
How was that for sneaking that in, Abe? You like that one?